whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I know what the Mandela effect is before I play this, right?
Let me pull these out first. So I have the Shazam video that they say never existed, which is Mandela effect number 1. Well, let me just get this to focus. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's Shazam. I have the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. It's the actual book. And then I also have an original pair of Fruit of the Loom. Hold on. Fruit of the Loom with the cornucopia. You can see the cornucopia on there.
Yeah, these are not none of my Mandela effects. So
They say it never existed.
This ain't him for me.
But that's it for you guys. It's going back in my safe. I'm hanging on to it for good. So, there you go.
I do know the fruit one though, but I didn't know there was supposed to be different.
Let me pull these out first. I have Shazam video that they say never existed, which is Mandela effect number 1. Well, let me just get this to focus. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's Shazam. I have the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears.
I don't really relate to these. I came back from Dimension B.
I'm gonna introduce myself. I am Shazam! I'm the genie of the lamp. And you are?
You're not a genie. Genies aren't real.
Every time I come out the lamp, I hear the same thing.
You better
Never
get
watched
out
this.
here. All right?
Oh, you would. But you gonna toot me to death? Shazam! Not gonna scream again, are you? Because look.
I had never heard of this movie before. What's people saying? I remember going to Blockbuster every Friday with my dad as a kid. I remember seeing the VHS tapes of Kazam and Shazam next to each other on the shelf. Every time I think, why in the world would they make the same movie? Okay. Sinbad. Okay, so what's the other one look like? Pop it into your VHS, upload the video, movie playing. I watched in 5th grade. These niggas have it. May not be artificial residue or the timeline. The VHS cover aren't real. Artifacts and won't recreate. I have to type this in. No, this is tripping me out. What is it supposed to be called so I can get the joke? You know. Yo, what up, gang? Yo, what up, gang? Yo, what up, Daddy Kanga? What up? Why for that? What, Canal? Hey, I'm good, man. I'm just trying to figure this shit out. Alright, Sinbad Shazam. Oh. A truly bizarre midnight has claimed to have seen a movie called Shazam, where Sinbad played a genie summoned by a young brother, but no such thing movie exists. False memories can seem like. Oh, apparently it doesn't exist, but the dude has it. Alright, let's see. Shazam. Shazam's a 99. Shazam is a real 1996 film starring Shaquille O'Neal as a genie. While the movie Shazam with the comedian Sinbad is widespread false memory phenomenon known as the Mandela effect, many people recall some genie movie with a specific plot. What? So apparently this is the original. So first we gotta type in who is Sinbad. Okay, so that's literally his name. So if you type in Sinbad's movie, Shazam ain't gonna come up. Yeah, there is no Shazam. See, I didn't know about that. So let's go back onto Twitter. Okay. So now let's watch this back. Actually, let's just go on YouTube. Let's see if anyone has uploaded any footage of it, you know? I didn't know this was a thing. That's why this is kind of funny. Yo, what up, Patrice Parker, man? I'm good, man. How are you, gang? Y'all lit today?
Some I picked up from storage and all that stuff from when I was a kid, and
Okay.
I guess it did exist.
What the hell?
Before using Uplearn, I was stuck on C's in all of my subjects, especially psychology and economics.
Now, Ray J was on your show too, right?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
And you got to work with hot ass Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek, one of the first TV shows ever.
Now, you know, you got married, you got divorced, you remarried your same wife. You know, don't you have
And don't you get stuck doing the TV show. Okay, all right, Joe. You know, LA is the only place where people gangbang and fight like that. In New York, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, everybody living together. I said, this could blow up. There could be something positive. I saw where this went for 5 years. I saw the 5-6 years syndicated. Sinbad living good. Oh, I'll get behind the camera after that. I'm doing well. I retired. So, dressing room with me, pitching the idea that my 4-year-old adopted daughter catches me having an erection in the morning. I said, what'd you just say?
I don't want to hear all that.
Some I picked up from storage and all that stuff from when I was a kid, and
You remember that 90s family fantasy movie, Shazam, where the comedian Sinbad played a genie? You know, he gets summoned by these 2 kids and promises to grant them wishes, but he's sort of bumbling and screws everything up. And then it ends in a big pool party with all the kids' friends. Remember that? No, you don't. That movie doesn't exist. So why are so many people so certain they remember seeing it? Well, today we're investigating the Sinbad genie movie that never existed, no matter what people on the internet tell you. But before we get started, make sure you've subscribed to many old school internet legends. The exact origin of the misremembered Shazam movie is impossible to definitively track down. The mythical film first came to mainstream attention in 2009, when an anonymous user posted this query to Yahoo Answers. Do you remember that Sinbad movie? Wasn't there a movie in the early 90s where Sinbad the entertainer/comedian played a genie? I know Kazam had Shaq in it, and that's not the one I'm thinking about. Help, it's driving me nuts. No one in that initial Yahoo Answers thread claimed to remember the movie, and the topic quickly dropped off the front page. 2 years later, a Redditor brought the question back, claiming to have been the victim of a conspiracy to suppress knowledge about Shazam. But again, the idea was met with silence or derision, as no one else claimed to remember the film. The world at large seemed to agree. Sinbad was never in a film about a genie, and these few random people were just misremembering something else. Jump ahead to 2015, when now defunct internet news outlet Vice ran a story about the so-called Mandela effect, describing a phenomenon in which a large group of people all claim to share the same false memory. The term was coined by paranormal researcher Fiona Broom, who said she had vivid and clear memories of South African anti-apartheid activist and leader Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. Of course, that's not what happened. Mandela served 27 years.
You know what? I'll be honest with you, chat. That's something that I did want to touch up on. Now, Nelson Mandela, because I remember when I first heard about the Mandela effect, they was talking about, they gave me an example of Pikachu. Like they said to me, does Pikachu have black tip at the end of his tail? And your response is, as I was thinking, yeah, like even as I imagine it now, he does. But like if you type in Pikachu, there is no black thing at the end of his tail. So someone that might be a hard like Pikachu fan, die hard, probably already know that. But if you type in the Mandela effect, this is what you can see. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But ain't nobody listening. That's what I'm trying to put y'all on. I'm trying to put y'all on. I'm trying to tell you. So this is how the Mandela effect got introduced to me. Like, why can you picture Pikachu with a black thing at the end of his tail? It looks kind of weird now when you see him just without it. So then I went to wonder, why did they call it the Mandela effect? And I found out this was the reason why. I thought niggas are stupid. Maybe I was born late, so later on that they told us the right information. But I always knew that Nelson Mandela did time in prison. But I know he got out because he became a president after, or whatever. I didn't think he died in prison. So whoever thought that is fucking stupid anyway. Y'all don't know your history, and if you black, even worse, you don't even know your black history. Like, it's ridiculous.
Who said she had vivid and clear memories of South African anti-apartheid activist and leader Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. Of course, that's not what happened. Mandela served 27 years in prison, but was released in 1990 by then South African President F.W. de Klerk. Just 4 years later, Mandela was elected leader of a new coalition government. He passed away decades later, in December 2013, at age 95.
Wow.
During the course of her research, Broom spoke with hundreds of other people who claimed to share her memory of Mandela dying in prison.
Man.
She speculated that the phenomenon could be evidence of parallel realities. Perhaps Broom and the others who recalled Mandela's death were from an alternate universe that had somehow bled into our own, explaining why they can recall events that did not take place in our world. The Vice article focused on another example of the Mandela effect concerning the illustrated children's books.
My work is easy because I use
the guy had.
Here's how I keep track of all my
The
tasks.
Bernstein's book.
I start by brain dumping everything I need
I
to
didn't know about this book.
Berenstain Bears. Many people on Reddit and other forums claimed that the characters were named the Berenstein Bears, with an E. Based on all the available evidence, at least in our reality, the bears are named for their creators, married author-illustrator Stanley and Jan Berenstain, who spelled their last name S-T-A-I-N. But so many people were positive that they were always the Berenstein Bears, it had helped to popularize the concept of the Mandela effect and Broom's theory about parallel realities. Yes, every spelling exists everywhere, all at once. After the Vice article made the Mandela effect mainstream, it boosted interest in stories about subgroups within the population recalling significant historical and pop culture caught in striking detail. Redditors have collaboratively provided a full plot synopsis for the film. Sinbad stars as a genie, freed from a magic lamp by a brother and sister duo, raised by a dedicated but lonely single dad. They decide to use their 3 wishes to find their dad a new partner. But Shazam is a bumbling genie, and things don't always go according to plan.
Okay.
Following some wacky hijinks, the film closes with the family hosting a pool party, where the genie and the kids' plan finally comes together. Many remember a scene in which the children wish for a mountain of gumballs, though it's unclear how this is meant to advance their overall matchmaking goal. Others recall the sister thoughtlessly wasting one of her wishes on fixing a broken doll. There are also numerous accounts of a sequence in which the genie accompanies the children to a shopping mall. But that is not all. Other commenters claim to remember the...
I gotta see this. Here's a movie poster for a movie that doesn't exist. Don't let the internet rewrite history. I don't know who to believe. Do you know what I mean, chat? Here, it says Shazam exists. People don't let the internet fool. Family fun. Sinbad Shazam. That poster do look whack though. To be honest, chat, that poster look whack. You know, it looks like a cover to a movie. It don't even look like a poster. You know, if I saw that poster, I would never watch that movie. I'm just putting that out there.
Film's poster, which apparently featured Sinbad dressed as a genie in an arms-crossed pose in front of a purple background. Others claim to remember that Phil Hartman, who co-starred with Sinbad in both Houseguest and Jingle All the Way, was a writer and producer on the film. That's an impressive level of detail for a movie that has never existed.
Mad.
One sci-fi explanation for the Mandela effect has been proposed by Redditors who insist Shazam was totally real. Some point out the writings of Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom, who has suggested that our world could be a quantum computer simulation being run by a technologically advanced future civilization studying their ancestors, i.e. us. If his hypothesis is true...
Whoa. You know, some mad like. They just said that, so basically the Matrix is real, and basically that's basically like Assassin's Creed. It's what they kind of do in Assassin's Creed, like they kind of go back into a machine to live through their ancestors. So it's kind of like he's saying that right now, like humans have done, because do you know, I've always wondered, like, let me just add to the conspiracy. Like, I think it's, you know, mostly ridiculous. But I will add, like, we always wondered, man, like, we've always had the same materials here. Like, we could have had a PS5 200 years ago. You know, we could have been streaming 1,000 years ago, morally. But morally, it took us all that time to evolve. But us not knowing when the Earth started and when the Earth's gonna end, it's like, how do you know that we haven't figured shit out, and yet we might be way above? That's where aliens kind of come into play, you know?
And the entire world that we know is just a very advanced computer program. This could explain changes or errors like the sudden disappearance of a 90s family comedy from existence. It could even be a test to see how our primitive minds will grapple with divergent or contradictory memories. While it's technically...
And you'd think, alright, cool, let's say that is true. Why would they want to play with our minds and just, you know what I mean, and with a Sinbad Shazam movie? But it might be something where it just might be something so little that they thought maybe they could change. You know what I mean? Just something they thought they could change. I don't know.
Possible that people remembering Shazam all from another reality, or that we're all trapped in the Matrix and Shazam is a deja vu-like glitch. There is another, less imaginative but more practical explanation for what's happening. Human memory is statistically unreliable, so people may simply be remembering things inaccurately. How's that for philosophy, Bostrom? Yeah. There are a number of film and TV projects, or the twin deadly meteor movies, Armageddon and Deep Impact. But if that's true, how come no blockbuster on Earth ever carried a copy?
Let's find out.
At the bottom of the ocean,
Right.
Dunelm, the home of dreamy colours for you to choose. And snooze. Colour.
Right.
There are even more pop culture artifacts that could have also contributed to this confusion. A TV series from beloved animation studio Hanna-Barbera called Shazam aired on CBS from 1967 through 68. The series followed the adventures of a brother and sister pair, Chuck and Nancy, who explored a mythological version of Arabia, along with a titular genie who would use his powers to get them out of scrapes. Shazam could also be an inaccurate recollection of a 1995 sketch from Nickelodeon's classic series, All That. Series regular Kenan Thompson played a recurring character named Ishbu, a foreign exchange student who hypnotized people using a swinging jewel that he wore around his neck. Sinbad guest hosted a season 2 episode and joined in as Sinbad. Ishbu's.
I was wondering where they was going with that. I was like, you ain't mistaken Kenan for Sinbad in Shazam. But I remembered the first, bro, I'll be real with you, the only recollection place I can remember Sinbad from was Good Burger. If y'all seen Good Burger, bro, y'all know. But Good Burger is the only movie I can recall Sinbad in.
Father, who wore shiny clothing, spoke in a weird foreign accent, and wore his hair pulled up into a bun. It's certainly possible people are misremembering Sinbad as Shazam. Additionally, the name Sinbad refers not just to the family-friendly comedian, but to a famed mythological mariner, Sinbad the Sailor, who appears in a number of Middle Eastern folk tales, including the 1001 Nights anthology collection. And our modern ideas about genies and magic lamps also arise from Middle Eastern folklore and mythology, including 1001 Nights specifically. He may not be a household name, but stories about Sinbad the Sailor are still familiar in the U.S. The memorable 1973 fantasy adventure, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, features iconic special effects by stop-motion legend Ray Harryhausen. And Brad Pitt voiced the character in the 2003 DreamWorks animated film Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. That's more than enough of a presence in our pop culture landscape to potentially generate some confusion. Why wouldn't Sinbad make a movie about a genie? His name is Sinbad. Plus, a wisecracking genie seems in line with the characters he actually has played. Adding even more to the confusion was the discovery of an old still featuring Sinbad the comedian dressed up in vaguely genie-esque garb, including a turban, puffy white shirt, and vest. When this first started spreading online, it seemed like the Shazam enthusiasts had finally locked down some actual incontrovertible proof that the film existed. But it turns out the image comes from a 1994 movie marathon series that aired on the TNT cable network, in which celebrities presented marathons of their favorite films. Sinbad introduced a collection of, you guessed it, Sinbad the Sailor movies, and dressed the part for his hosting segments.
Okay. Our inmate Sinbad
has suggested that our memories are actually infectious, adding, people infer events and then heard about the Sinbad Shazam confusion, and now remember that suggestion in place of the original movie. College Humor only added to the problem on April Fool's Day 2017, when they released fake footage shot with the real Sinbad recreating lost footage from Shazam. While the comedian himself had previously attempted to set the record straight and remind fans that he had never played a genie in the 90s, now all bets were off. And the entire internet was all in on committing to the bit. In other words, people believed in the movie so much that it came true. Kind of like a wish from a genie. So what do you think? Could
Mad, okay, so we've got the history in it now. We can move on with our lives, you know. But let's watch this video one more time.
I got something to show you guys. You're gonna say it's fake, this, that, and the other thing, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Let me pull these out first. So I have the Shazam video that they say never existed, which is Mandela effect number 1. Well, let me just get this to focus. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's Shazam.
But it's Shazam.
I have the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. It's the actual book.
Yeah, so morally, why don't he put the movie on.